blocking your road. Hate to porcupine, it's Halloween outside, you got some in your eye. Better cut across the room, smile at me, ignore all my woes, and a bathroom stall. No other place at the mall. Talk about romance movie, and the ones that I might love. I lied about all the world that I told your friend. You're still on my mind. That train never left. And everything I needed is gonna go away. And everything I wanted will never stay. It's like a Halloween costume. It comes a down. Every good thing must come to an end.
All right, what's going on, guys? Chris Bushman back with NFGL Live, and tonight we are continuing some Metal Dungeon on the original Xbox. Yeah, so last session we started Metal Dungeon, made some progress with kind of learning the basics of the game, including it's a little tan. I wonder if that's from going to the next level here, including learning how to level up. Some basics of going through the first floor and all that good stuff. So, just a quick little recap. We have a party of 5 individuals, that being a striker, which is kind of a melee fist heavy class. Fencer, which is more almost like a warrior type with swords and hammers. We have our caster, which casts a variety of kinds of magic spells. Analyzer, which is a ranged attacker with ways of being able to detect statuses of enemies and health, as well as another striker. And they have various levels depending on which stats we actually upgraded. And just before we left the other day, I decided to do some other equipment purchasing, so hopefully we have a little more defense in our party. And we're going to kind of just actually, let me double check on, I think it's the laboratory. Yes, it has work for hire. So if we do like an area search, since we have Area 1 done, I imagine that'd be where I could do some more stuff. Let me sell an item and see if I can just open that up. Let's do that. So if I go to sell, what I'm hoping is that if I can do the area search that... Oh, Thrill House. Dang it. You're not wrong. Did not think about that. But I'm thinking is if I sell maybe an item or two, get enough money, do the area search, get more money from that. And let's see here. That's agility, 50% resistance for a while. You know what? Let's sell that guy. We just need 300 more. Yeah, we'll do that. So I think that'll be enough to go into the area search job. Let's give that a shot. Area search. I will undertake that. I am hoping that I'll be strong enough. I should be, I think, given where my party's at now. I'm going to go ahead and go to the entrance. And we're going to go back to Area 1. We have unlocked Area 2 because of defeating the boss in Area 1. But still, we're going to go ahead and just jump back there. I'm hoping this will be a way of getting money. Because besides selling items, we really don't have a good means of getting money in this game. And you need money for everything in this. Any kind of leveling up, any kind of equipment. It's all money based. So that is very much needed. Let's do instant kill right there. All right. But yeah, Sam, since you're on, I kind of want to get some, like, cause I think you went ahead and watched the previous stream earlier. I want to hear your initial thoughts on the game kind of as you saw it. I think to me overall right now, it feels very much like I think one of the phrases I used last time were that it was a dungeon raiding party management game, almost. Just because of the minimal direct control you have on your characters, but then all the maintenance you have with levels and equipment and such. And a lot of it just fairly automated. And overall, it seems like it's a game that, while it didn't really have a very warm reception when it came out in 2002, it seems to fit a lot of the same kinds of mechanics, at least that I noticed with some mobile games. At least to me, it looks like that. This shares a lot of those mechanics of the AFK kind of mobile titles that are out there, and a lot of like management light games. I was wondering if I'm a crazy person or if anyone shares that opinion, or if they have a completely different opinion. And also beyond that, kind of thinking through what other specifically dungeon management simulator macro kind of games there are out there. Like, I think there's one where you're running an item shop where heroes have to come to buy items, so you kind of more facilitating the item shop than actually doing true dungeon delving. Yes, the goal for this particular kind of quest and area search is that I believe I get money for each room I explore. So I'm going to go ahead, explore as many floors as possible in Area 1, hoping I'll get some money. Yeah, Darkness Dungeon, I think, is kind of around that too. Yep. At the same time, I'm going to still pick these fights just to get some experience. If I really need to rush through the rooms, I can rush through the rooms. And I believe... Actually, I don't know if I'll face a boss at the end of this. I might. If I just choose to do the last room, so to speak. Which, depending on where like defense and all that are, it might be fine. Alcabeth, yeah. And then Alcabeth was the sort of prototype for Ultima, right? So yeah, that's what kind of it feels like to me this game is sort of doing, and I like it. I guess I can show this off real quick. So earlier today, I had gotten in the mail the guidebook for Metal Dungeon, which it's Japanese only, so it'd require some heavy Google Translate to really get anything out of it. However, it does show just sort of the depth of items and stats related to them, as well as like general guide, like a strategy guide. Here's how you approach certain areas. Here's the general gist of the game, some strategies, things like that, breakdowns of the classes. So I could definitely see there is a sizable amount of content in terms of equipment and enemy variety for the most part. I didn't do too deep of a dive in that just because, at least for the enemies, I didn't want to ruin any surprises of what some enemies could look like or what kind of varieties I could face. Some of them are certainly palette swaps, but many of them look like they're still unique enemies from what I saw, so I think we have that to look forward to for sure. So yeah, there's like a legitimate sort of base of content for this game for sure. It's not going to be just completely recycled stuff in each area. And much like your traditional dungeon delve game, you do have content that sort of forces you to repeat explored areas, like these missions. There's some monster hunt kind of missions too, which I think what they do is you go through an area looking for particular leveled monsters that I think are higher level than what you experienced before. So you have those aspects, and they're pretty bare bones, right? The area search is you go through the area and you go through each room. see, your Shining in the Darkness kind of takes the dungeon crawl genre and adds JRPG progression elements. Yeah. Yeah, it certainly does. And I think that I don't think with Shining in the Darkness you get beyond just at least exploring the dungeon. I don't think there are many other mechanics or rewards for performing the exploration beyond like secret finding or getting loot, just from item boxes and such. And this seems to lean more in terms of what we see in some roguelikes. I don't know if it's roguelike or roguelite that I'm thinking of, but it's where you have this randomized dungeon you go down every time, kind of like a Diablo and such. But then it's unlike those where you still have a very specific set of rooms you go through. It's not like, say, Baroque, where you have to just traverse the whole tower in one go if you really want to do it, and progressions reset after each exit, but it still has that randomization, right? So I don't know. I want to go through the door. There we go. That's my people hiring room. Okay. I hope I get at least 1,000 money out of this, because that's what I spent. Which, yeah, how about that? You spend money to take on quests. Like these are basically quests, right? So I don't know what's up with that. It sounds backwards to me. That's just me. Oh, man. Do the walls ever change? In terms of... That's a good question. I'm not sure if the actual wall textures used change. I know, from what I remember from a while back, there are different kinds of rules that are used per area. I'm trying to remember, though, if they changed the wall textures or anything. I think when I played before, I only got to maybe the 3rd or 4th stage. So I didn't get too far in. And that's out of 10 stages for at least the main story. I do believe you can go further in after the story concludes. So kind of extra content, just keep grinding, go through, I want to say it might be 100 floors, something like that. But I would assume so. I vaguely recall maybe some sort of color change. I don't think the dungeon walls are going to change substantially. It might be more of like a color palette swap sort of thing, rather than a full-on different texture. And or like, you're not going to get like a jungle area. It's going to introduce an organic sort of effect to the dungeon layout and the textures. I think it's all going to be fairly square like it is here, and some form of metal walls and floors. So yeah, they're not doing anything fancy. Actually, it kind of makes this a very chill game. Very grindy. That's without a doubt. So I think at this point for the Xbox, I'm trying to think of what RPGs were on the original Xbox. Not necessarily just in 2002, but just overall on the platform. She had some BioWare stuff with like KOTOR, and what was that? The feudal Japan inspired one, Jade Empire. Then you had like Fable. I'm not counting like the action RPG stuff or like the Gauntlet games necessarily, but like either Dungeon Delve or turn-based RPGs, kind of what was on the platform at that time. So weren't any Final Fantasy games? I don't think Square Enix was doing anything on the Xbox really. I don't think there was a whole lot on there. you had some iterations of The Sims, like the herbs and stuff. So you had some of that content. You have Morrowind. There was that. This is pre-Fallout 4. Or Fallout 3 at that point. What else would there have been? There wasn't Neverwinter Nights. That didn't make it onto the console. There's my exit, but we're not ready for that yet. We got more rooms to explore. And more fights to be had. Yeah, like and the reason why I'm kind of doing that little thought exercise there is thinking about the, was it Aldrian Chronicles on the N64? Where it kind of feels like this might be a similar situation of having some kind of number crunchy sort of RPG on the platform where it's just lacking. But while Chronicles on the 64 was much more of a very turn economy stat crunching sort of game, this is much more of a kind of like to your comparison there, Sam, almost like a early old school like Ultima or like D&D Dungeon Delve game where you have a lot of blank slates you work with, you give them stats, and they progress to your liking. But it's not really much tying those characters into the world necessarily. Like you're not having a lot of individual stories happen. They are a collection of 4 or 5 avatars that you go into the dungeon with. That's really it. As opposed to Chronicles where there's, a whole campaign, narrative, story sort of thing happening along with more tactical battle system with its radial turn-based system. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of RPGs on the OG Xbox for the most part. Besides a few big titles, probably because of DirectX support. I'm assuming it was profitable enough to port it over to the Xbox. There's enough library support where doing the port wasn't the biggest pain in the butt. Still work, of course, but you have some, at least, code sharing going on there. Yeah, think about like the Ultima, like, well, again, not so much like all the Ultima games. Well, I guess kind of, though. They had much more of a narrative going on. But like some of those, like Eye of the Beholder or Black Crypt kinds of dungeon delve games, I think they at least had more novelty in their dungeons. Like, they had traps and sort of weird key lock sort of logic you have to work through. And I'm not sure if this has a lot of that. This has some special rules for areas. Excuse me. But I don't know how deep that's going to go with this game. If it's going to be just sort of a novelty for a floor and you're done, or if it truly adds another long-standing fold into the game here. More chips. More items. More fights. And eventually, if these get a little too long in terms of kind of watching the fight finish up, I can't adjust the speed of how the fights play out. I keep at this speed right now in case I have to intervene with like magic, but with where the stats are, I don't think that'll be necessary at this point. Maybe on the second part of the stage I'll have to, just because the enemies are a little bit harder and you have those magic casters. But for a lot of these melee fighters, they're really not doing a whole lot of damage at this point just because of my equipment and stats. And I get a bit of a, what was it called? Bravely Default sort of feel from that aspect. Just because you can speed up the game, automate fights. It's really about you've set up your your experience grinding engine at that point with your characters, so you don't really need to be an active participant all the time. And it's a bit of a, what would you call, a creature comfort sort of thing. Got everything down here? I think I did. Yeah, it looks like I got everything down there, so I'm good with that. Just want to make sure I got all the floors before I hit that elevator up. Or got all the rooms before I hit the elevator up. I'm assuming there's another door probably around this here corner. There's at least a couple. Flutes. And if I recall correctly from when I went to the later areas, I do believe all the maps still result in some combination of floors ending up as a giant square. So in terms of an overall layout of a floor, I still think it all comes out as a square, just how it's divvied up with these square rooms. Which does add to a bit of the monotony of Metal Dungeon. It's certainly going to be a curious play. From the... Because I was looking for reviews and other videos about Metal Dungeon on YouTube, I did see that many of the long plays and kind of campaign playthroughs clocked in at about 10 hours, 9-10 hours. And then I think, well, there were some sites saying it's over 100 hours for 100% complete, but I don't know what they were defining for that, if that was that there are actual other floors, or if I was trying to get all the equipment, or what that is. So maybe I just hit a point with the level of these characters where I just start blowing through some of the later stages, maybe. So I can see it taking a while from how I'm doing it now. I'm still in Area 1, and so last time I played was about a 2-hour stream. And we're doing this kind of questing now, which will eat up time. Maybe it'll be of a similar time to where Panzer Dragoon Saga ended up. So I think that probably ended up, at least in terms of in-game time, about 17-18 hours. I could see this falling in that for sure. Maybe max level. I'll have to use my fancy strategy guide to see what the max level actually is in this. I await for a big, exciting moment in this game for me to really get jazzed about, without having it that sort of choreographed, curated sort of campaign feel you get with something like a Panzer Dragoon Saga. It's going to be based on, I guess, if I get through a pretty tough encounter that I kept on dying at before. I don't know if I'm going to find any kind of item that's going to be super special to the point where I'm like super curious. And Saga has so many little details that always kept you curious about the world of the game, as well as being curious about the context of items you'd find. And this, I think the system of the game, the system of item organization and stat building feels much more apparent than it had in Panzer Dragoon Saga, to the point where the window dressing for this game doesn't really hide that mechanical feel of the game like Dragoon did. Part of it, again, being that the sci-fi horror-ish theme here, it's not leaving me curious about anything. It's kind of like, yeah, that's just what the characters look like in the big metal boxes we run through. So, yeah. Man, it makes me appreciate Saga that much more. Overall, that was a really fun playthrough. Like, I think I would play through Panzer Dragoon Saga again in the future, and it would be very much in the vein of just revisiting it, not to... I mean, getting the final form dragon. The characters with dialogue are the pre-recorded explored notes you get at the beginning of each stage. I'm not aware of any other dialogue. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Some it's a metal dungeon. Yeah, a little bit of stuff and things. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I try to have my cool T-shirts. I have my slew of Cleveland Browns gear, and legit, this shirt's awesome. I love this 8-bit brown shirt. Yeah, in a lot of ways, Red Ring Rico. Yeah, I think that's a fair comparison. Man, PSO's good. Yo, we gotta play some PSO online at some point. You gotta let me know when you get your Dreamcast set up, Sam. Because I think Jason now has his game and system dug up. So that's at least one other person. And I'm sure, I mean, at least getting 3 people to play some PSO would be a good time. Man, it's a good game. Cage, you're supposed to have spell resistance too, and you're getting destroyed by them spells. I mean, your health is junk too, so that probably doesn't help anything. But I certainly appreciate the grindiness of PSO for sure. But yeah, man, in terms of cool T-shirts, what I have a lot of like, I think probably the best T-shirts I have are my Cleveland Browns gear. I have some. Because sports, of course, sports. I have some XFL shirts from the St. Louis team that's around here. And then I have a shirt from 1998 from when there was a flood in the town I grew up in. So those are probably the best shirts I have. And everything else is like some weird hand-me-down or something I got for free from like a flea market or from work. I certainly have the style sense of a dad. That's what it feels like. I'm like one cargo pant and pager holder away from just full on dadding it up. Maybe throw in a fanny pack. I think, was that the one that attacked? No. Why didn't you prioritize the one that attacked? See, that'd be cool for this game if it had something similar to what I think it's Final Fantasy 13 has with its Gambit system, where if I could just like sequence AI logic into the characters, so still keep it all automated, right? Do what you're doing here, but allow me to unlock or find new behaviors or logic pieces, something to start creating sequences and triggers for my characters to do different actions and sort of construct their strategy that way. That'd be kind of cool. Instead, I have, at least so far, they might have something later, I don't know. But otherwise, there's a default behavior of if you get attack, you're going to attack, and then otherwise you block, and then I can intervene to cast a spell or use an item. Or run away. You know, that's it. Those are my choices. So, yeah, let me mess with the AI a little bit, dude. Give me some things I can tweak behavior with. That'd be sweet. That'd make this a really cool game. Better talk to the developers about that. Get my time machine out. Go to 2002. Like, hey, yo, I got this great idea. It's like Bejeweled World of Warcraft. Best game ever. Just put those two together. Call it done. No, I'm not going to do any of the work. I'm an idea guy. Yeah, I'm just going to tell you things, then you do all the expensive hard stuff. Yeah. Call it done. I did like the Gambit system in 13, though. I really liked Final Fantasy 13. I need to play more of that. Like, I played a little bit of it back in college. That's probably about it, but I mean, the Gambit system was pretty cool to play with. You had a really fun way of upgrading characters through... It was almost like a chessboard sort of thing, if I recall correctly. So you would have certain leanings towards different types of classes, but really you can build out to whatever. So it's almost like what Final Fantasy X had going on, where you can really expand your character and kind of build them how you want. And that was a much more grounded story. Like, you still had some grandiose conflicts, but it wasn't like old school Final Fantasy where there's always some big old rock or horrible thing going to destroy all the planet. You know, they had a more grounded sort of feel for conflict with your characters within this more approachable world. That was a good game. That was a quality game. I'm glad they remade that. That will be a future stream for sure. And that'll be pretty much a first playthrough for me. Yeah, I guess we'll use a heal on you because you have no health. So, alright, Caster needs more health. I gotta keep that as a mental note. Half shield. I don't have anyone who uses shields. My one person uses a hammer and everyone else uses fists, so no shields. Yeah, one weird advantage to being very limiting with your equipment. When you find stuff you can't equip, that's the first thing you can sell. So that's one way of making money. In this case, really the only contention there'll be for equipment will be for some defensive items between my attackers, and then Knuckles' weapons between my two strikers. I think that's about it. I still have to figure out if the defensive stat is for just physical attacks or is it for physical and spells as well. I don't know. Oh, any of you folks ever play Final Fantasy 13? Or is my recollection of that seeming accurate? Is there respect for that? Is there a different RPG that seems to, I guess, resonate a bit better for you, or more so to you than what maybe 13 does for you or for me? Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe. Follow. Something, something, something. And we're going to go ahead and let's have Cage cast a spell to speed this up a little bit. Let's try Blitz. I think that's the ice spell. Yeah, I was looking through how much Cleveland Browns jerseys would be the other night, looking for one for Jaws. Yeah, because I don't think you saw that, Sam, but so Jurassic Jaws on his stream, he does a thing where he does these, like, you cash in certain types of space bucks or whatever for his stream to do different actions, like unlock emotes to use. He'll switch a camera over to his dog. Things like that. And one of them is he does a quick change of costumes, right? But apparently if he doesn't do the quick change fast enough, he's kind of keeping a tally of all these failures, and once he hits a certain threshold, he more or less has to take some sort of punishment on stream. Which is good times, right? And so one idea I was having was like, well, we can just give him a Cleveland Browns jersey, and then he has to wear that the whole stream. Because then there's going to be, it gets twofold there, because number one, he's a Pittsburgh fan through and through. So, you know, that's just not the team he wants to be wearing anything for at all. But number two, did I get a Gatling gun? Or did I just make that up? I thought I did. I don't know. But number two, he's a kind person, right? Yeah, it's right, go Browns. He's a kind person, and the jerseys, an NFL jersey on the whole is a pretty nice thing. So now he's going to feel obligated to wear it too. He's like, oh, that's a nice gift. I should probably wear it. That's a really nice thing. And so it just all compounds into punishment, which is exactly what you want from a punishment. That's the goal. Oh, Gatling gun's a monster part. Okay, I was hoping it was like a weapon. Alright, fine. That's fine. But some other folks on stream had some really good ideas too, so it's like, I mean, you're asking folks, hey, what can you do to make me pay for failures and such? It's like, oh, I have to discard an item. What? Fine, I will discard. Those will actually. I'll discard this. Really, I gotta sell some more items. Oh, there's also a carry. This one's like a strength stat sort of thing, but it's for carrying items. So I might just have to increase that too. What's my t-shirt size? I fit comfortably in a large right now. This would be probably a tight large to a medium sort of size I'm wearing here. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, we'll go ahead and drop that. I'm assuming Jaws is probably medium to maybe some small sizes he could fit in. In terms of jerseys, well, that's part of it too. It's like, I think if I did a jersey for Jaws, I'd probably have to get him like an overly large jersey, something he just swims in. Just, you know, because you can have like a nice looking jersey fit in, but we gotta have him like just buried in the fandom. Like, that's really the goal. So I was between like, well, maybe get like a jersey with his name on it, or get a jersey with a player name that he doesn't want on there. Because I mean, you can do like, at least with Cleveland, you have Tyreek Hill or Nick Chubb would be some good candidates just for players that the Steelers struggled with when they lost in playoffs. You can have it to where you have a make up a jersey with maybe Roethlisberger or something as a Cleveland Brown instead, something silly like that. Or even like maybe some historic Browns players. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities there. I was kind of thinking through. There you go. You're supposed to resist. There you go. Also found a very adorable. It's like a puffer jacket, a Cleveland Browns puffer jacket for dogs that has a little hoodie on it too. I was like, oh, y'all can get this. It'd be cute for your pup. Keep her warm. I still have the Yeti Corn t-shirt. That is upstairs still. That has seen some age. that was, I think that was my first Woot shirt. And that was that in high school, I think? That might have been high school I got that. Oh, I gotta get the switch first. But I still have that shirt. I think I still have the blue friendship shirt too. Those are I mean, there might be this kind of tightness, maybe a little bit tighter, so I'm not busting those out just yet. I gotta lose a little more weight, get a little bit slimmer shape before I can really sport those. Like this, the dark color doesn't have my gut come out as much, and my arms aren't completely terrible, so I feel more comfortable doing this at least. But yeah. Oh yeah, yep. I still have that breakfast shirt too. That is another winner. With the breakfast shirt at least. I think he wore that as kind of like a pajama shirt because it's a very soft shirt. And there's been more than one occasion when someone asked me if that's what I was wearing. Like if that was like legitimately something that you'd wear as a pajama shirt to bed. And they weren't like just being facetious or picking on me or something. Like that was what they were thinking. I'm like, no, it's something I was wearing out in public. So maybe it's going to be a pajama shirt now. We'll see. Alright. Do I have any healing items? Dragon surface. No, I don't. Do I want to use another heal right now? Probably should. Got 2 heals left. Oh, is that right? I still want to make some NFGL shirts, dude. Like, there are plenty of resources to get that done. Either an NFGL shirt or even some jerseys. Like, it's a really cool logo. I think it would look really good as like a baseball kind of shirt, you know, with maybe the logo and then the different colored sleeve sort of deal. Like, I forget what it's called. But, you know, you usually see it for like baseball shirts. That's all I really remember it from. I still gotta do that. I was thinking about doing some headbands before, but you have to like get a lot of headbands to do that for a custom logo. So yeah, that I don't have anything set up to do merch yet to try to swing that, so that's on the back burner in case. Oh yes, I know it's a ripoff of MLB, but I'm just saying it still works, regardless of what it's based on. Yeah, but let's see here. Let's go with this. I may not be able to just do a whole bunch of battles. I'm going to have to start skipping some here just because of... Honestly, I'm just running out of heals. Oh yeah, by the way, Sam, do you have a... Oh, I'm running away from this fight. I can't take magic damage here. Thank you. Do you have a copy of the file you used to make that logo where it might have like a transparency layer instead of the black layer? Because I can make that myself, but it'd be a lot easier if the transparency was already there, so I don't have to try to mask out the black outline from when I try to do a fill. I can really make some fancy logos and assets for the stream. If not, that's cool, but it'd be handy. I know it's been a bit. Like, my Gimp Fu ain't too bad, but I'm still very much a beginner, so it would just take me a little time to spiffy up any kind of cleanup I do on the existing logo. Unfortunately, there's some slight blending of the bordering around the text of the logo and the black background, so it doesn't just fill out. And maybe I just end up happening is just taking the existing one and doing that, because I do have a high-res version of the basic logo, and that's what I use for most of my stuff anyway. And I did make... And I don't know why. I already did this work for the logo previously, but then I just saved the watermark I made instead of the actual like logo without adjusting the opacity. So I was like, why didn't I save all of them? First world problems, man. First world GIMP problems. I will say Vegas has been really handy for making assets. It's really fun to just kind of go in there. Like, for instance, that's how the... you'll see above there, the NFGL Live logo pretty much works. Is that's using some text assets in Sony Vegas and then just basically use it as an animation tool. Let's get rid of... Yeah, we'll get rid of that. Oh yeah, dude, if you have that, that'd be so fantastic. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. Otherwise, I have to remake it. And again, it wouldn't be that much work to really remake them, but, you know, being lazy sounds nice. I won't be like, it's already here. He already did it. Whatever. I don't have to do jack crap. I just dodged a battle there. Bam. Ninja skills. Yeah, we'll fight this. Sure. I don't think the bats will be super bad, and we could probably get through these scorpions okay. Scorpions got some defense, though. Like, they ain't no joke. Actually, that being the case, I gotta get used to use my wizard more often. But yeah, so like for one thing, I wanted to redo one of the rotating assets I have because for whatever reason, when I did it, I left the top of the logo cut off in the spin animation it was doing. So I need to fix that. But then from there, there's some other stuff I was just messing around with in Vegas that, yeah, makes it fun. Well, again, too, I'm very used to using that particular editor, so like knowing what effects are where and such. So any of these characters, I can do some level of direct control. What that direct control results in, though, is more of to change their generic command. So when I press A, I can go through each character, and I can change a particular command. So like Sindel here. Oh, I can't. So it looks like I can't actually choose which character I attack with them. I haven't been doing it this entire time, so I've been playing this game wrong. I'm not a smart man. In short, so apparently you can directly control all of them in some fashion. So I've just been lying to you this whole time. I did it. I never said I was the smartest person in the world. Yeah. Use our last heal here. Yeah. So that changes some opinions I have of the game a little bit because I've been playing it like with one arm tied behind my back. Again, I can certainly see why the default behavior would be to have that automation in place because a lot of the battles I'm doing right now don't exactly require a lot of intervention. Right? And there's some enjoyment I was having with trading in that sort of high-level sense. Just, hey, the battle goes the way it does. But now if I actually legit be like, oh, we need to really get rid of this enemy, I have zero excuses. I just have to aim and do it. You know, play the game like how it was made. Not be silly. Sometimes you're just a silly Billy. There we go. That'll open that up. 89%. Yeah, I see there's a couple other rooms up there I haven't gotten. Let's do this. I'm trying to remember what this does. Healing! Yay! Fantastic. I've been hearing this hype. You've been keeping the hype train going, but I mean, I can't ask what to be expecting because that is certainly unhype, and that cannot be of unhype. 91% still. Apparently, it's gonna be something good, man. Oh yeah, so you should probably know of the Jessica birthday dates as well. So I assume you're going to want to be in on that action. It's kind of a big deal. Cage, you're going to go ahead and spell. Let's try Gusta, see how that does. But yeah, I'm hoping for some true collaboration for the Bushman birthday thing from my end, going to you this year. Because there's some collaboration between wife and I usually, but you know, a lot of it is also a heavy influence of me, obviously. So This year we need true collab, something to really make something different come out of what would otherwise be expected. You know, the fresh set of eyes. Come on, spell. 26 ain't bad. I think the lightning did more damage before. I'm mistaken. Oh, dang, you hit multiple people. Look at you. Bash, bash, bash. Bang. I'm not very worried about this boss, to be honest. We beat him already when we were honestly less underprepared. So, I mean, in this case, we're better equipped. And I think we have better health going into. Dang, go after her. Elsbeth? That's mean, dude. Don't need to be doing that. Any day now, Cage. You want to cast a spell, dude. I mean... There you go. Just keep beating up this bird. Bang. Here comes the bang. Because it's a gun. Yeah, Strat Guide said walk in there and shoot it a bunch. You'll get it. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Thanks. 99%. Good enough for me. Okay, so if you get everything, you probably get another 1,000 gold on top of what you spent. So it's a way of getting money. I'm not ready to say it's a great way of getting money, but sure. Sell those. Sell that. Sell that. Sell that. Sell that. Sell. We'll use those units later. I already have that. I still don't know what I use those for, though. No, I know what I use elemental orbs for. Those are for other kinds of upgrades, but these, like... these parts, I don't know what we use them for. 10 grand, though, ain't bad. What else could we do here? So I think we go back to the lab, we do an exchange. And that's where we use those elemental things for, but the circuits are what we want, because that's how we get our other classes. And also how we multi-class, but yeah. Do we want to do any modifications here? What do we have for these? I think blows for knuckle. That's sensory, so we'll use that. That's resistance. Shot. We'll want shot. And we'll leave it at that. Attach. We'll do that. Oh, blow. I didn't want to do blow. Oh, well. Well, I guess you got a little more in your knuckle attacks now, so that's cool. Yeah. This does. I mean, hey, these screens remind me a lot of Dragon Seeds. You know, it's like, here's some menus, man. in 2002. Let's see. Let's go ahead and help out Cage a bit because you kind of need this. Defense and health. Yeah. And then let's go to our analyzer here. Defense, health, defense, defense, shot, shot. Right? That's, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, what do we got for leveling up for you? Defense. Let's start there. Let's do some arm agility. Is that expensive now? Is that an expensive game now? Up your carry a little bit. Up that a little bit. Defense and low. That'll do. Yeah, that's not super cheap. Carry, low, defense, up your agility a bit too. Defense, that'll do. Okay, oh, Cage, we got some stuff for you too? Yeah. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I already did. Maybe I didn't press OK when I did yours. Health. Defense. Attack magic. That'll do. Do I have anything even? No. Alright, so we leveled everyone up. That's good. I think everyone needed that. And we have a little bit of money too, so we might look at some equipment. But again, even with, like, yeah, it's a budget title, but still, it plays fine. I mean, they're not 100% wrong on that, I suppose. But again, it's... I think you can do a whole lot worse. Ooh, we could get some real magic. What? Do we actually have any better heals? So let's go ahead and buy that one. This is for everybody. Yeah, that'll be a good investment. We're investing in some magic. Poison. Who cares? We got anything else we can buy here? Oh, we can get leg pads. Let's get the soft shoulder for Elspeth. Okay. Oh, I guess technically, sure. I mean, again, because a lot of the battles, I don't think you did any direct stuff with the battles, did you? Modification. Hey, I can add remove chips. Yep, yep. Hey, we got more heals now. Mission accomplished. Haha. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and equip. Yeah, I'll give you a little more defense there. Yeah, 'cause I think how it worked was that you'd create your dragons, but then they would. I don't think you even had like a rock paper scissors thing. I think they did just fight on their own. Well, I guess what we can do now is. I mean, we can check out floor 2, I suppose. Ma'am. Let's see how floor 2 looks. Maybe this is like 100 million times worse. But you'll get a little bit of dialogue here, I think.
Area 2. Area 2 recording. We conquered Area 2 today. I want to remark that the honor must be given to our 3 dead comrades. This area is a lot different than the last area. First of all, the shape of the maze remains the same. However, the area consists of warp rooms.
Warp rooms.
Traps, which randomly take you to deeper plots within the area. You must go through to reach terminal and control room. As previously mentioned, the routes will randomly change. In most cases, the warp room simply takes you to the next block. But sometimes, if you're really unlucky, you'll find yourself standing
Okay.
where you started. In a sense, this area is a test of your luck.
Fortunately, there's only one terminal room to look for on this floor. Yeah, 'cause I guess they're thinking it's just going to be eating up a lot of time going through the teleporters.
Last of all, I'm informing you that I'm leaving the study. It's unbearable to stay in this cursed place where my colleagues fought and died.
You know, there's a lot of dark themes and dialogue to this.
Give them my best regards.
Oh yeah, your favorite teleport mazes. Am I at the end of the game? This must be where the final boss is, because everything's a freaking teleport maze. Let's see how hard this guy is for me. Well, he missed, so that's a plus. Oh, we are gonna. Ooh, hey, cage. Maybe a little thunder spell on him. There we go. That'd be good. Because looks like this guy can take some damage. 22. How you like them apples? Like them Granny Smiths? Again, that might be another playthrough too, is some dragon seeds. Because I think I still have it in the stack of PS1 games over there. Yeah, that guy almost gave me about as much experience as I got from the boss. So we probably won't get through the end of this. But we'll get some good experience. Then I have to hit more of these enemies. If only I had a reference to show me all the stats of enemies and stuff. I suppose if I have any crazy questions, I can do that. Love that attack. I think that looks pretty cool. That's a pretty cool looking enemy. Not gonna lie. Oh, yeah? Well, you should be able to, if you wanted to go that route, if you got a standard PS1, if you have, like, Codebreaker or something, you should be able to do that, too. SP charge. Is that my mana? No. What is SP again? I forget. Maybe it's spells. Yeah, so I just recharge my spells. That's cool. I decided to waste it now. I think sometimes those rooms will do bad things too. In a proper, you know, it's a proper dungeon game. That's a teleporter. I think that's what I ended up doing to try to play some imports on my PS1. Was that I have a copy of Game Shark or Codebreaker. And as long as, in this case, I have a spring that presses down a button that senses if the CD door is closed. And I'm able to do a disc swap that way. And I can just boot with the one and then pop in my import of choice without having to do any kind of craziness to play them on the PS1. But there's even easier ways of doing it these days. Like, I think there's ways of just having even an insert for a memory card, for example, to handle any kind of copy protection or region locking. Well, I'm glad I helped Elspeth's defense out. Jeez. I'll also have to deal with spell resistance with these folks eventually, because I think besides my one magic user, they're probably going to be pretty vulnerable to magic. Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, because I did that for Chocobo Dungeon, the first one, and for IQ Final. Oh no, guard robots. Give me my chips. Potato chips. Oh, let's go and give you some attack here. One thing I would like to use this reference for is probably for some of the spells, at least in how to memorize. If some of them are actual area of effect, or some of them are single target, but they randomize which target. That is a very real thing with how magic works in this. Welcome to Hades. Yeah. Though, man, Doom 3's teleporter animation was always so awesome. I remember the first time going through that, like, oh, Jesus. It did not make you feel good, teleporting in that game. Not one bit. More items. Thank you. Empty room. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Froggies! Might need some magic assist. Might as well. Or maybe not if they're that weak. Okay. We might finish these guys off a bit quicker. If that's how it's going to be. I gotta play more Hades. I have that on the Switch. That's a really good game. Holy crap poop. Hades is really good. If you haven't played Hades on anything at this point, do yourself the favor. That is a good dungeon delve game. Combat's nice and slick. A lot of cool roguelike power-ups you get throughout the story's awesome. Really fun characters. That's a good game. That is a legit good game. That deserves all the praise and awards it's gotten. Straight up. Cannot recommend enough. Oh, it's the big guy from the beginning cinematic. What's up, buddy? Yeah, I don't know, Toro, if you're still on stream at all. I don't know if... Have you played Hades at all? 'Cause I don't think Sam has. I don't think we've talked much about Hades ourselves, but yeah, Toro, if you've done some Hades play, I mean, I assume you'll back me up on this. Like, it's a good game. It's freaking good. Heck, at this point, if there's anyone on stream who's played it, you back me up. Back me up. It's a good game. Buy it tonight. Do yourself a favor. Give yourself a good weekend to sort of dip into it. You'd be like, man, Chris, you were right. Should have done this a while ago. But like, I know. Good game. Told you. How a little cold. Chill out. That's also another teleporter. Okay, let's go ahead and throw up a heal on Elspeth. Yeah. With my multiple heal spells now. So that's one member, that's all members, and that's a medium heal. That's good stuff right there, I tell you what. Heals are just good things. That takes us back to the beginning. And I don't think I went through the middle one yet. I think I went to the end. If I recall. Okay, so we have to go to the left. Okie dokie. Making me walk. Whatever. And now this time I think I want to go through the middle one. Yay! New spot! More loots, more fights. Man, having that freaking analyzer, dude, you kick butt. You give me HP of enemies, you disarm traps. I like you. Finger pad. Is that a weapon? Where is that at? Maybe it's armor? Let's find out. Let's go to member, you, doc, equipment. It is... what's it require? Oh, I probably can't use it because of my gloves, right? Throw house can be the same thing. Elsbeth, nope. Sindel, and you. E defense +1. Rubber gives E defense +2. Defense +3. Yeah, we'll give it to Cage there. Sure. That'll do. Here it was these. Or not. That's fine. Thank you, Sneeze. It's like, oh, you want to sneeze? You got it. You got it. Nope. Fine. Just drink my coffee oat milk thing. That's fine. Punching mosquitoes. That's right. Then we shoot mosquitoes. That's right. Is there ever an RPG where you really don't want the having heal spells right away? It's like, I can't think of one. Alright, that's the... My party died. Give me something else to use. Because I think I can make other party members and just have them lie in wait in there. Swap them out. I believe that is the purpose of that kind of room. So far, the enemies do look pretty cool. How hard do you hit? You hit decently hard. Not horrible, but hard enough. If I get an instant kill from one of my strikers, that'd be so sweet. Come on. Nah. Fine, do regular damage. Whatever. Oh, you froze now? Ha 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 ha. Won't you just chill out? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, maybe like what I'll do is I'll use this guidebook for once I complete a floor, or at least get a feel for it, use it to see if there's anything I missed in terms of strategies or if there's maps and items, things like that. And otherwise use it as more of like an enemy and equipment reference. Because I don't mind doing a guided playthrough. I actually haven't done a lot of them. Usually, I'm pretty sure the middle one's going to take me to where I want to go, if I had to guess. But usually, it's been kind of like the Panzer Dragoon Saga playthrough, where I just go in blind and sort of let the game present what it has for me at its pace and whatever I discover on my own. But there's certainly something to be said about having a guided playthrough, just to sort of hit all the points as you go through it, enjoy pacing, things like that. Super Jetpack DX, is that a homebrew Game Boy game? What is Super Jetpack DX? Oh, come back here. They say patrol bots are bad, but you give me experience. Whoa, there's a lot of guys here. Whoa, hey now. Hey. Cage, you need to get some spells out, buddy, because I decided to fight everybody now. So I vaguely remember hearing about some sort of, maybe in the past 6 months, some sort of homebrew Game Boy game. Didn't know if that was it or not. Very cool. That's always fun getting homebrews and stuff. So they're like, so there's like homebrew GBC games. I've seen like homebrew GBA games. Are there any homebrews for like the Lynx or the Virtual Boy or anything like that? Or even the Game Gear for that matter. Like, so I see a lot of Game Boy stuff, but I don't know about those other portables. You know of any? Or more so, have you played any? Nice. That's good ice spell right there. Well done, mage. Oh, that took me backwards too? Lame. It's all left side then? Lame. No, I think I took a left in the second one, didn't I? Was it all like just ROMs or something for the Virtual Boy then? I guess the Virtual Boy probably had some weird carts it would use. Not sure. I mean, even the Lynx. What would they have for that? At that point, too, probably the Game Gear would have stuff it could do for Master System as well, since it's pretty much the same hardware. I remember seeing like EverDrives and such. I guess at that point for like, well, so I know of an EverDrive for the Game Gear, and I have a couple for the original Game Boy and the GBA. Did they have any EverDrives for like the Lynx or the Virtual Boy at that point then? Because that'd probably be the only way you could play those on hardware, unless you're emulating it. I don't know though. Portables are kind of a funny business like that, at least until you got to the Vita and the PSP where it's all digital, so you can just throw it on SD card or install it via USB or something and call it done. Which was a weird thing with the Vita also. Lynx has one? Okay. Like, because with the Vita, you could keep on using the proprietary memory format, or you can actually, I don't know if you just straight up modded the Vita cart slot on the console, or you could just throw an SD card in there, but you'd pretty much use that slot for loading in your own like either saves or other games and stuff at that point, just because of the expense of the proprietary memory format. It's lame. All right, there's a terminal. Got that done. At least for the Virtual Boy, well, again, I know more about the Virtual Boy than the Lynx, honestly. But I know with the Virtual Boy, like there's like a first-person horror game that was Japan only. I think that they did get a fan translation. And I think there's like some other stuff there, but that would be a really cool thing to have for a flash cart or homebrew or something, because you also have a lot of the 3D stuff you could probably play with in terms of homebrew. And I can see that being pretty dang fun. It wouldn't be just like your regular, here's a match 3 game I made on this console, which is fine, but there is a novelty to having 3D at your fingertips on such a eccentric piece of hardware like that. I guess with the Lynx too, like that's such like a weird console. Do you still have? Well, I'm assuming you still kept your Lynx and your Virtual Boy, right? Or did you end up getting rid of those two? Because I know you had your kind of clearinghouse a while back. Though even then, even if you kept them, like, that's some... Well, it's kind of like... I know with the Lynx, it would have some hardware failures and stuff, so, I mean, I guess it'd be worth keeping, but the way that runs and the way that hardware can fail, it'd almost be better if it was it's using emulator at that point. Maybe the same thing with the Virtual Boy. Oh, that's right, because the lens thing. That's right. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, you're doing some stuff with... Yeah. But that's what I mean, though, is like with the Virtual Boy, it's such unique hardware that, doing those repairs is not a great time. And the Lynx, I think the Model 1 Lynx was a lot more stable than the Model 2. Oh, there's a chest back here. Oh, goodness. Don't want to miss that. But I think the Model 2... it like would have a lot of screen problems, a lot of motherboard failures. That would make it hard for me to I guess justify getting an EverDrive for it in a way, because like here's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining that the hardware is unique enough for the carts and stuff. They're probably not cheap. Because like with the Genesis, the NES, the Super Nintendo, and all those things, there seems to be enough reproduction going on. There's probably flash boards and things like that out there. At the very least, like an SD card solution. It's probably not the worst expense in the world, but you start getting in some weird funny business with how memory works with the Lynx or the Virtual Boy. Or, well, I guess again, Game Gear, it's kind of weird because that has its adapters and such for the Master System. But just like, are the reproduction parts available enough to make it cost effective to have a mod like that? On top of the cost of having whatever logic chips you would need to do the, like, an SD card solution or anything like that. That's kind of what makes me hesitate a little bit with some of those. So everything's expensive, dude. Especially retro now. Everything's so expensive. And like, at least with the Virtual Boy, with you saying it's not as available, I'm assuming it's like some dude made something, did a couple batches, they sold out, so now there's just nothing else for that. If I had to just do a random blind guess, if it may be something similar to like how the Amiga happens, some of its equipment and mods and stuff. What we got in this room? So I'm going to say the far right room is going to be the one I want to go into, because the left and the middle have been used a lot in this maze, and the right path has not. And just assuming that door number 3 has to be used at some point, so we're going to do this. And if not, then, well, womp womp. Yay, see, guessed right. How many more rooms do I got? I got at least one other section of teleporters and stuff. But yeah, like with the Amiga, that was kind of the situation where you can have you either have like a really strong audience of picking up a product, or there happens to be a saturation of certain products like memory expansions that some work, some don't. Or it's such an eccentric accessory, even for that kind of, or an eccentric platform that no one's using, that just the making of batches becomes really limited. Maybe the ColecoVision would be a better example with like the Super Game module, because that was something to where, yeah, people would want it or get it. Please be good. Oh crap! What's this gonna do? It's gonna be like bringing on enemies or something. Let's see here. No one's really hurt from that. Yeah, I just brought in some droids, I think. That's fine. We can fight some more. Yeah. Well, it's like, it's a console that doesn't have a lot of games in its library to begin with. Its hardware is probably not the easiest to maintain. And because of lack of sales or whatever, there's not going to be a huge install base. And people probably just aren't as nostalgic about it as other platforms at this point. Like, you'd probably have people, like the Game Boy, obviously because of how many systems are out there, the popularity, the nostalgia for it. You're going to have all kinds of accessories, screen mods, memory options, EverDrives, audio mods for the speaker, carrying cases, new cases for the console in general. Like, you're going to have all that stuff just out there. With the Virtual Boy, yeah, you're just probably not going to have a lot. Which is a shame. But, yeah. It's just a part of it. Dang, you do some damage. Crap. Are you going to kill him? It might get close. Oh, yeah, it's close. Can we finish these guys off? We got him. I should hit my magic at some point too, so that'll probably do some damage here. Magic, where are you? There you go. Bam. A core stone. I think I used that for the simulator, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so I've been through all those rooms. If I had to pick one to go through, I would try the center one, I think. No, that was the warning. Probably left again. I'm assuming they're not going to do right twice. Nah, I was wrong. Dang it. Yeah, because I think what pretty much drives like the ColecoVision and the Intellivision is probably more of a nostalgia for those niche retro platforms, as opposed, and that's on a different level than what you get from, say, the NES and the Atari 2600, which have huge followings, and that's not just like nostalgia for that niche audience, but those are like symbolic of retro gaming in general. So people are just going to have stuff for that forever. And at that point, same thing with the Game Boy. And it also helps with some of these consoles that when they use like off-the-shelf parts. Yeah, Odyssey 2, so popular. I mean, I guess... Because, I mean, that has had a little bit of modding and stuff going on, too, hasn't it? I think this is the one I wanted for this one. Yeah. I think this one, if I want to take the right... I think I want to go right twice. But yeah, because, I mean, the Odyssey 2, that's had video mods, joystick mods. That's had some serious stuff, too. And again, I'm much more ignorant on that than other consoles for sure. Because I know you, Sam, you've had a lot of experience with the Odyssey 2. Really? Just right on top of the bot, huh? Great. Cool. Well, at least it's this guy, so I think this won't be that bad of a fight. I mean, you had, like... Yeah, like, he also had some weird stuff where it was pretty much one guy making a whole bunch of games with the Odyssey 2 back in its heyday. And, like... Oh, yeah, because you had, like, the board games for it, and some of that kind of microcomputer functionality creeping in. It's a curious piece of hardware, and it seems like it has some cool games. None of them I've played myself, really. Well, that's a lie. I've played a little bit at a retro arcade in the area here. Definitely not to the degree that you have. Yeah, then the homebrews too. Okay, we gotta pick a door for this now. What's in this one? That's an empty room. Okay. And I know it'd be a very selfish request, but I would love to see more board game types of experiences on the Odyssey 2. Just because of the weird format of just having a computerized unit help run aspects of the game. Because you have like Football Fortunes does that with its modern iteration and what it had for like the C64 and Amiga and DOS and all that. You have, wasn't there like a tanks game that you have for the Apple II that does that? And you even have like other board games that have that with like Dark Tower and a lot of modern games that use mobile apps as part of the experience. I think Mansions of Horror, the second edition, has that now. You have, there's some like detective games, things like that. Yeah, Tactics. You know, I just love that kind of format where it certainly takes a lot of heavy lifting off of the user, but still adds a little bit of mysticism, I think, to the game, just because... Oh, I don't like any of you guys, but we're going to attack you. Just because there's aspects of the game that are taken out of your hands, for better or for worse. I hope you attacked the front guy. No, you didn't. Alright. That's fine. Maybe you'll hit all of them? No, you can't get your special off. But of course, to do a homebrew like that would cost so much money to do just for materials and parts. Though, again, like, it could be like where Football Fortunes was, where the physical parts are the same across the board. It's just a different application for your given platform it runs on, pretty much. So you could probably have like a PC flavor of it, as well as for those who have some retro systems, have some builds for the Odyssey 2, ColecoVision, whatever like you'd want to hit in terms of a retro market that way, just an excuse to bring that experience to something old like that. It wouldn't be practical at all, but not 100% sure on that. I'm going to do middle. I want to try the middle here. Crap. I would look at the guide to see what it says. In terms of horizontal position on the front row, I don't know if that impacts defense at all. I do know that positioning in the front row versus the back row affects who you can actually attack. For instance, you can't melee attack from the back row. And if you have ranged attackers, they can obviously attack from the back row. Furthermore, I think depending on the kind of character you are, you can only attack other back row characters or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. It's real fun. It's like, you know, Simon Says. Or in general, Simon. I think this is when I want to go to the right twice. I mean, in theory, it'd probably be better for me to write some of this down. I'm not supposed to go to the right there, am I? Nope. Nope. And I guess, fortunately, not fortunately, I don't know how I'd feel about it yet. There isn't a whole lot of risk to messing up the maze, because it's not like you're getting flooded with other enemies if you mess it up necessarily. It's just like, there's just encounters you may have left like this one, but that's about it. So you're not going to just get punished super hard every time. However, that means that then why do we do this if it's just having me run through these steps again just to memorize a pattern of doors? Yeah, it just takes longer. It's like a filler. There could probably be another interesting risk or something associated with it, just to bring some sort of meaning to this action. But it don't, so yeah. I mean, that's part of the experience of Metal Dungeon in general. We're gonna introduce things that really drag this out for a bit because maybe it's a battle. Yeah, that'd be fun. Hey, you get money. Oh man, what if we got money at the end of the dungeon? That would be cool. Why don't they do that? Now I gotta freaking do a yard sale every time I get out of a dungeon. Just even if I want to level up. Okay, this is the one I think I have to go to the right twice. Yeah, I'll just fight you anyway. Come on, let's go, let's fight. Come on. Not exactly my favorite fight. Will it kill him? No. Really, guys, you just... Alright. Can kill one of them. Are y'all seriously going to attack the one? That's bullcrap. Okay. You better not hit the 5 health one. Yeah. Hit someone that needs some damage. It'd be nice if my caster was set up to do spells beforehand. Oh yeah, like a Minotaur in a maze. That'd be cool. I'd be down for that. Like right now, I think the only real risk is some form of attrition. But still, it's not like a random encounter that happens. These are instances of bots that represent the encounters. So you don't exactly have that going on. There we go. We'll do that. Is this one going to the right twice? I think so. What was this? I think I go to the left on this one. If I don't, I'm sorry. I don't. Yeah, the only landmarks you have are like empty chests and types of rooms. It's amazing. Alright, so I have to go to the right in the room where that one thing that set off the warning was at. That's fine. At least there aren't any more other enemies to fight right now. So we just walk. Ah. Sure love a good walk. Love a good walk. I think this one's to the left. I think it was left, middle, left. And this one's left again. Because that's where the map room was. Or not the map room, but the control panel. Okay. And this one should be to the right. Oh yeah, so I decided to try streaming this on Facebook this time around too. Adding another stream channel. So I'm curious how that's going. So I think that goes to my personal page right now. We're going to go to the right because this is the warning room. And then I think this is to the left. Man, I saw if I were to upgrade my Restream account, then I could also do it to public groups in Facebook too, so I could do that on the NFGL group channel, Facebook group eventually. That'd be pretty cool. Hey, Jess. How was the neighbors? Good. Did they enjoy the sourdough? Alright. So, okay, so this is after the warning room, I think. And I think it should be to the left. Yes, it is. Okay, yeah. Oh, these guys again. Yeah, I made a large number of sourdough starters. Mostly because I've been working on like feeding the one starter. I had a lot of mason jars hanging around, so decided, hey, you know what? I can make a few more starters here and either make a bunch of bread or give some to some neighbors so they can have their own starters. Jess did a really good job. She made the initial starter. Came out real nice. I mean, we've had that one forever. Now we've been feeding it some rye flour and really getting it nice and acidic. And here comes some magic. Bam. Another maze room. So the left door has empty. Oh, this is a bad battle. Can I get out of this? Guess not. Well, actually, those pig guys may not be able to attack me anyway, so I may have just wasted some health. My bad. Yeah, I just hurt myself for no good reason. Bad little. I should get some heals there. If he makes it. Alright, good. Hit him instead. Okay, we'll live. That's some pain addition out, though. I mean, I took some needless damage. I forgot those pig guys can't attack from the back row. So I would have been alright, but I just set myself up for extra damage I didn't need. Alright, now it'll work out because I can use another kind of heal to heal them up then. It's a good experience. So I'll just use the heal all. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then we got in here. But yeah, I look forward to making some sourdough. I think we might use what we did last time when I tried making the loaf. And this was with dough that really wasn't as sourdoughy and acidic as it needed to be. I used the starter way too early and we really didn't let it sit out and do its thing. But I'll just use a Dutch oven to bake it instead of trying to do like on a sheet or something. It gets a really nice size on it that way. It becomes a really nice bowl sort of thing. Yeah, I know, right? With all the sci-fi stuff they have, why are you just punching things? Punching them into space. Okay, so it's middle or right. I'm kind of thinking middle. Let's try it. This middle has failed a few times. Please be middle. Alright, it was middle. Alright. And I think that takes me back. So I think this is the boss. Boss time. Let's do it. Is this all you are, boss? You're a chump. Please don't hit hard. Dang. That wasn't nice. Alright, correction. I think that's the one I want. Freaking hit us all at once like that. That was mean. Oh, he just downed one of my guys. Dang. I don't know if I got a woe pack. Do I? I do not. Good to know. And we're just going to go ahead and leave you on doing that for a while. Because that guy, he don't play nice. Has lost a decent attacker. Well, I wanted a tough encounter. We got it. Shoot. And I'm already going to be dishing out less attack than usual because now I'm running heals to my one guy. And this guy moves a lot faster than my caster. Oh, please, Thrill House, survive this. Alright, you survived. We might wipe. So I'm essentially down 2 attackers right now. Oh yeah, this is gonna be bad. Bad, bad, bad. Oh yeah, Thrill House is going down at least. Caster went down. Oh. I don't know what happens if I wipe. Bad things? Miss? Nah. Is it just game over? Yeah, they have been. That's no doubt. Yeah, they died. I have to make new people to get my bodies back. How does that work? Are they stored in body bags on the second floor? Is that what this is? I have to create a new party. The characters are not lost in the dungeon as long as you delete them in the registry. Their icons will distinguish your characters in the preservation room. So here's what I think is going to happen here. So the party stays in the preservation room on the second area. So if I want them back, I have to make a new party and fetch them. In the randomized maze. Good. Great. Oh, man. Oh, I don't lose experience or anything, so that's a plus. Yeah. Dang. Guess we get to make some new party members, because we're not going to sit here and just, save scum or something. No, this is the full experience of Metal Dungeon. But hey, now we know what happens, right? No party members, I know. Well, time to make some guys, I guess. I don't want to go broader still. Alright, man, have a good night. I might call the stream here as well a little bit early today, just so I can get some stuff done upstairs. But next time we play, which I will go ahead and save, because to be honest like that, next time we play, I will have to make a new party, get them ready to go to Area 2, rescue my previous party, and then eventually level back up to take on the Area 2 boss eventually. So that'll be what's kind of next up next time we play this. But now we know what happens when you party wipe. You don't lose your characters, you just have to go fetch them, which means you make a new party and do that. So good, great, wonderful. But maybe like for those of you watching the stream, watch next time, or you can leave suggestions wherever. What kind of party should I make as the rescue party for my OG characters here? Should I go with the same composition, or should I use some other classes or something? Let me know. Let me know if there's anything that tickles your fancy, or even any names or anything like that. But until next time, I'm Chris. This is NFGL Live, playing Metal Dungeon, and we got work to do next time. So take her easy, have a good night, play some games, guys. Don't get beat up by bosses in Area 2.